I'm joined by Daniel Cormier, who takes on Anthony "Rumble" Johnson this Saturday night at UFC 187 for that 205-pound strap. DC, thanks for joining me. You're here in Vegas for Fight Week, but you got here kind of unconventionally. Talk to me about the past few weeks and how mentally it's been for you.
Well, it's been okay. It was different. I didn't expect to be fighting for a championship right now, so when I got the call, I jumped at it. Anyone that gets offered an opportunity to fight for a title, they take it. You don't turn that down. So it's been good though. The best thing about it is that I was already preparing for a 5-round fight against Ryan Bader, so it didn't really change my preparation. Just the guy that I'm fighting. Rumble Johnson's just a little more explosive and bigger puncher than Ryan Bader.
Before we get into your matchup with Rumble, I want to go back a little bit. When all of this was unfolding with Jon Jones, in the back of your mind, did you ever think, hey, maybe this is, a chance for me to step in?
The first thought was like, what's going on? Who was involved in this accident? Is this woman okay? Is her kid okay? Once that was shown that she had some injuries, but nothing life-threatening, the focus kind of shifts. Ryan Bader made a plea on Twitter, and I was like, wait a minute, hold on, Bader. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go on the internet and do it, I'm going to go directly to the bosses. And I called them and I said, hey, if this becomes a reality, just remember who I'm over here. I just lost to that guy, but outside of that, I hadn't lost a round in the fight. So remember that I've been one of the best fighters in this division and in the UFC for a while.
And in that time, were you taking a look at Rumble a little closer and saying, all right, this could happen?
You know what, man? I've always kind of watched Rumble because since he's gotten to 205, he's been so good. And I've actually I've been lucky enough to be on the desk for all of his fights. So I've had to break him down extensively to cover him versus Davis, to cover him versus Nogueira, and to cover him versus Gustafsson. So I've been watching Rumble Johnson ever since he got to 205 in the UFC.
Yeah, and you made a comment that he kind of took and didn't necessarily like. You said at the end of the day, yes, he has a lot of power, but he's still a guy who tapped out to Josh Koscheck and Vitor Belfort. Obviously, you're saying that because you're looking at it as an analyst, and that's what it is.
And that's the thing. I kind of got for it, and I'm like, well, it's the truth. I'm not lying. It's like, if I put a video in front of your face and you see it, how am I being disrespectful? It's the truth. I lost to Jon Jones. Can I get mad about that? No, it's the truth. I lost to the dude. Sure. Jon Jones took me down. It pisses me off, but it's the truth. I'm not lying about Anthony Johnson. I'm telling the truth. He fought well for a while against Koscheck, and then he got choked out. Fought well for a while against Vitor, and then he got choked out. That's the truth. I know that he's a different man at 205. But when I say at his core, he is who he is, it's like, how do we know that this is not the same guy that was 8-4 a couple years ago? He's on a 9-fight win streak. We don't know because he's been able to dominate everybody he's fought since he was 8-4. Now, he has gotten better, but I'm saying that let's see how he deals with adversity.
And what's been the difference in preparation for you then going in to face a guy like Rumble and originally preparing to face Ryan Bader?
Ryan Bader, he would wrestle more offensively than Anthony. At least I thought, until I really started breaking Anthony down. You really start breaking Anthony down when those guys make him a little uncomfortable and they start to do better. He goes back to being the wrestler that he is, again, at his core. He's a wrestler, like I said, at his core. We are who we are. I'm a wrestler. And when Anthony when a guy stands up to him and isn't going to get backed up or bullied, he starts to wrestle, and because that's what he does. It's what he's done his whole entire life.
Right, and for you going into this fight, is it nice to not really have the animosity that you had for your last fight?
Love it. I like Anthony Johnson. I think Johnson's cool. I admire what he's done. Like I say, time and time again, yes, he was 8-4 before this 9-fight win streak. And most times at 8-4, guys are thinking, man, should I really be doing this? Sure. But this guy corrected himself, went on and won 9 fights, has beaten UFC former champions. He beat Alexander Gustafsson. He's done phenomenal. This dude has been dealt adversity time and time again, and he's always kind of stepped up. I respect him for that. I respect him as a fighter and a competitor, so it feels good. The animosity brings people into the arena. It makes people press order on the pay-per-view, but it also wears on us too.
Getting this second shot in just a few months, does it mentally and emotionally feel good to know, all right, there's never really an end to this path. There's always something that can happen?
Yes, it does. It feels great because it tells me that when I do the correct things, you get rewarded. You know, when you try to be good and nice to people and you work hard and you do the right things, opportunities present themselves. I don't ask for anything. I didn't beg the UFC for this title shot or anything. It was presented to me. I asked and they said, here you go. I don't say, well, I've done this, and the other. Please do something for me. I don't do that. I'm just there. I'm always prepared. I'm here to fight.
You also do the right things to prepare for when you do get inside the cage. Obviously, you've got a great team up at AKA, but now you had Cain Velasquez for this fight. Came back from injury. He's fighting in just a few weeks in Mexico City. Having Cain back in the room with you, how much of a difference does that make?
It's a huge difference because as much as my guys gave everything they had leading into the Jones fight, they're smaller guys. With Velasquez, there's no rest. If there's a key to this victory, it's going to have to be my ability to push Anthony for a really, really long, hard time. If you're preparing for that type of grinding, hard fight, who better than Cain Velasquez to help you prepare? We just went hard, man, and prepared, and I feel great.
What can fans expect from your fight with Rumble on Saturday night?
A great fight. It's going to be a war. I know Rumble hits hard. I know he has big power. He's confident, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in that dude's face from start to finish. He can hit me as hard as he wants. Doesn't matter. I'm going to continue to press. I'm going to continue to attempt takedowns, and I'm going to stand up to him, get in his face and fight him, and deal this guy some adversity. Let's see how he handles it. Let's see if he falls over and lets me choke him out.
Daniel, thanks so much. Such a pleasure to talk to you. Best of luck on Saturday night.
Thanks, Megan.